Hello and welcome back to Automation 24/7. So today we are going to discuss about a very important topic in performance testing, rather a very important topic in Jmeter, and that is basically assertions in Jmeter. So what are basically assertions in Jmeter? So I'm going to show the basic assertions that are most commonly used in our day-to-day life for performance testing, and I will be showing you how we are going to use those assertions in Jmeter. So let's start. Now coming to assertions in Jmeter. So basically assertions are used in the Jmeter scripts to verify that a response from a server meets certain criteria. Like in Selenium, you guys know, we verify the title of the page. So we assert some values, we assert some text values or some fields. So basically if those fails or if those are not as per what we expect, so the script fails, so assertion fails. So similarly, the same way in Jmeter, we will be asserting some response which will be coming from server, and accordingly we can test those responses, right? Now coming to the best practices for assertions that we must keep in mind. First is use multiple assertions to cover different aspects of the response, such as response code, response message, and response time. So there are different aspects of response, like the response code, whether it is 200 or 400. So those we need to assert. We should also be able to assert the response message, and we should also assert the response message, like what the response message is coming from the server, the response time also. So these different aspects of the response we must take into consideration when we will be doing the assertion. Second is we must ensure that the assertions are relevant to the test objectives and the response being tested. So our assertion should be relevant, like it should be matching with our test objectives, like whatever our test objective should be, according to that we should be using our assertions, or we should be getting the response from those assertions, right? Coming to the third point, make the assertions easy to read and understand by using clear and concise language. So we must be clear, like whether we want to check the HTML assertion, so how we will be using that. If we want to check any JSON response from the server, so how we will be checking that. So we have to make our test scripts and test plan very much easier and understandable, so that later when we or anyone else retests those scripts in Jmeter, they can easily understand. Okay, so our assertion should be very much readable. Fourth point is use regular expressions to match dynamic content in the response, such as session IDs or timestamps. So this section I will be covering later. So in advanced performance testing, so we should be using regular expressions. Okay, so from the response we will be getting some session IDs or timestamps. Okay, so from there we will be generating some regular expressions, and accordingly we will be asserting that. So those also should be in one of our best practices for assertions, right? So coming to the types of assertions, so there are various types of assertions. Like from here you can see response assertion, duration assertion, size assertion, HTML assertion, XPath assertion, bean shell assertion, JSON assertion, BSF assertion, compare, JSR223, MD5HEX, SMIME, XML assertion, XML schema assertion. So there are various assertions, but primarily, like as I said, in our day-to-day activities, and the most commonly used assertions are response, duration, size, HTML, XPath, JSON. Bean shell is also used very much, but we will be discussing that later. Also JSON I will be explaining later. So primarily we will be discussing regarding this 5 assertions. Okay, so let's start. So I already have my JSON opened. So I already have my Jmeter opened. So as you can see, this is a test plan. So after you open Jmeter, so as I already showed you previously, so what you need to do after you install Jmeter, you need to go to the bin folder. Now if your machine is Windows, then what you need to do is you need to click on the Windows batch file, and then you need to double click, like you need to search for the Windows batch file, which is basically the file type, and you need to open that Jmeter file. So Jmeter file will be opening. So I just created one test plan. So what I did, I just attached one thread group, like created one thread group. Under that HTTP request, I just used google.com. Okay, so the server name or IP is basically google.com. No need to use HTTP, and the path I will be just mentioning one slash. Okay, and this is basically a HTTP GET request, because we will be getting the response from the server. Okay, so always it should be GET request. Now after that, some samplers that I have used. So some listeners that I've used basically. So these two listeners I've used. One is view results in table, view results tree. So you can use different other listeners also as per your convenience or as per your test objective. So I've used view results tree, view results in table. Okay. So after that, what I did in the thread group, I just added response assertion. So in response assertion, I just wanted to check whether my response is coming 200 or not. So I just selected response code. So you can select text response also, you can select response message also. So suppose you want any response message to come from the server, so that message you need to type, and that basically will be verifying whether that exactly that particular response is coming or not, and accordingly your test will pass or fail. So here I am checking only response code, and that is 200, right? So coming to duration assertion, so the time my script will be taking to run, so whether it should be 1500 seconds, so that also depends upon your test objective, right? So here I have mentioned 1500 millisecond. Coming to size assertion, where whatever size in bytes, okay, is returning, okay, the response, so those I just mentioned. So here I mentioned it should be greater than 4000. So here you can check full response or some response headers or response body only. So this is also depending upon your test objective, what you want to check. Okay, so here I just want to check the full response size in bytes, which should be greater than 4000, right? Then coming to HTML assertion, so in HTML assertion, what happens, we need to check whether the HTML document is as per the document criteria. Like it will just go through the HTML document and just give the response, like whether the HTML document is okay or not. Okay, so so in what way we do check? So here you can do one thing. Here you can click on browse. So in any folder you can just create one file, and in that file basically your response or whatever error message comes, those will be showing. So it will basically traverse through the whole HTML document, okay, and let us know whether any issue is there or not, or whether the HTML document is as per the format or not. So it will just return that. Okay, so here I have entered threshold as 10, okay, and just selected these errors only, so it will be returning the errors only, right? So here in this HTML assertion, what you need to do, you need to click on browse, and you need to create one file. So in that file this response will be stored. Coming to XPath assertion, so in XPath assertion what happens, so here I have selected XPath assertion. So I just wanted to check whether the title of the page is correct or not. So here as I showed you, I am checking google.com. So I just wanted to check with this XPath, like whether this XPath, like the title of the page, is correct or not. So that also you can assert. So the same way we do functional testing in Selenium, we do check for each web pages whether that particular web page has this title or not. So the same way we can check in a quicker way through Jmeter by this XPath assertion. So suppose you want to search for any element, or you want to check whether a image, suppose you want to go to google.com, you want to you want to check whether this image exists or not. Okay, so you need to inspect this image, you need to inspect this image and you will be getting the XPath of that image. Also you can select different tools for that, like this selectors hub is one of the tool to get the XPath. So you can copy this XPath and you can paste it here, and accordingly it will show whether this XPath exists or not. Okay, so it will just return from the server. Right, now JSON assertion I will not be showing right now. JSON assertion I need a separate video to explain you guys, because that is what basically I cannot explain from this video, so I'm disabling it. Okay, so let me run the scripts and show whether these assertions are working or not. So what I need to do before that, I ran this script before, so I will be clicking on this and clearing the previous responses. So I will be running the script. So I just ran the script. So response code 301. Okay, so response data is fine, request is fine. Okay, I did not get any error. Right? So duration assertion. So duration assertion was 1500 second. Let me make it 100 millisecond. Now let me save it. Let me clear all and let me run it. So what I got is an error. Why? Because so response code I'm getting 200. Now why I'm getting duration assertion? The operation lasted too long. It took 477 milliseconds, but should not have lasted longer than 100 milliseconds. So as I gave 100 milliseconds, so it got failed. Also the HTML assertion. So HTML assertion, let me just show you. So right now it's just a second, test files. So right now it's 1247. So this is the HTML response that I got in the file. So as you can see, some warning messages, some warning attributes. Okay, so all these different messages you will be seeing. Okay, so you can get this and give to your front-end team so that they can check if any error comes in the HTML response. So my HTML assertion is fine. My size assertion is also fine. So let me do one thing. Let me just make it size equals to 4000. Let me save it, clear the previous previous response, and let me rerun it again. So now what I will be getting, so I got an error in my size assertion. So whichever assertions I will be getting error, those will be showing here in the view results tree as red color. So if my size assertion is fine, so it will not show. If my duration assertion is fine, it will not show. But if the assertion is failing, so it will be showing here in red color, like it is showing here for duration as well as size. So for size, it is showing the result was wrong size. It was 27101 bytes, but should have been equal to 4000 bytes. So duration, response, size, HTML as well as title XPath. So let me just change this title. Okay, now let me just save it, clear the previous response, and just let me rerun it once again. So when I rerun it, title XPath, I got an error. Why? Assertion failure message, no nodes attached for Google one-to-one, because this is not the XPath for the Google title. Like this is not the XPath for the title of the page. Okay, so it will automatically fail. So in this way, basically you can check with different assertions in Jmeter. So in upcoming videos, I will be coming separately for JSON assertion as well as bean shell assertions as well as assertions using regular expressions, because those are advanced assertions and I need different websites to check. So I will be preparing those videos and will be coming as soon as possible. So hope you guys understood what is assertion, when do you need to check assertions with best practices, and how will you be checking it, right? So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys are liking my videos. Please do like, comment and subscribe Automation 24/7. Thank you. Thanks for watching.